Here's
November 13th, 2023. Can I get a roll call?
Mr. Sterling?
Here.
Mr. Thompson?
here.
Mr. McKnight?
Present.
Mr. Smith?
Here.
Mrs. Hastings?
Here.
Mrs. Meeks here.
Chris Arduino, recording secretary.
Troy Yarbrough, Superintendent.
Jason Bloom, Communications and Community Relations.
Shelley Wagner, Human Resources.
Michelle Erb, curriculum and instruction.
Josh Rand, Business and Operations.
And with that, I'll turn it over to Jason Bloom.
All right, awesome.
Give me 1 second. This evening we have Parker Center joining us for the Pledge of Allegiance. So we'll go get our kids out there.
Kudos for organizing all the kids that we have this proclivity to get them up here.
They don't come back together.
Kudos to kindergarten teachers.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a cute little baby.
That's a very cute little baby.
That's a Gerber baby.
These obviously we're not the kindergartners, we're still working on
They grow up so fast.
Boy, they grow and bigger.
Oh, shoot. We have a bright future.
Here they come.
Some of the parents want to come back this way, you can.
Yeah.
We'll make sure you got room so you can see.
Hi, kids.
Oh, he's gonna do great. Our flag is right there, friends.
So if everybody stay with us, thank you.
This is about it. You are not the shortest person in the picture.
Soon.
I think we all have our places now.
You guys are awesome. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Stay there, please.
Good job.
Yeah, they just learned that today, other day.
They want to make it up.
Oh, no. Yes. They say it was so reminding of
Can I get a motion and a second for approval of the agenda?
No changes? Motion.
Second.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Hastings?
Aye.
Mrs. Meeks? Aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye. Dr. Terrell Yarbrough.
All right. Again, the kids did an outstanding job. Thank you, Mr. Bloom, for inviting them. The mission of the Harlem Consolidated School District as a vital part of the community is to help diverse learners realize their unlimited potential by providing an educational program dedicated to academic excellence and the development of strong character in a safe and respectful learning environment.
Would you like to expound on the second part?
At this time, if we could do a moment of silence for, unfortunately, one of our bus drivers recently passed away, Mr. Thomas Jelinek. So if everyone could please, quick moment of silence. Thank you. He served the Harlem community since 2017, and he will definitely be missed. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Dick. Can I get a motion and a second to approve the board meeting minutes, October 23rd, 2023?
Motion.
Second.
Mr. McKnight?
Yeah.
Mr. Smith?
Yes, but I do want to note that I noticed in the minutes that it asked for the mission statement of the Harlem School District to be said more often. So do you want to say the mission statement again? Aye.
Thank you.
Mrs. Hastings?
Aye.
Mrs. Meeks? Aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
And with that, we'll turn it back over to Jason Moore.
All right, awesome. Well, this evening it is my pleasure to recognize two teams that had outstanding seasons. We're going to start with our boys cross-country team. One of these times I'm actually going to rehearse this with the team. So. You don't have to go that close. You can come up here. So we're going to actually face the board so make sure you all get to see. All right. So with us we have our high school boys cross-country team and Coach Jay Richardson here to recognize them for an outstanding season. If you followed along on Facebook or Twitter, you saw some of the accomplishments of this team, and especially this team in partnership with our girls cross-country team, both qualifying for sectionals as a team, which is an outstanding accomplishment. And we've seen this team just continue to improve over the years, and so we're super excited to recognize them this evening. I'm going to turn it over to Coach, let him talk a little about.
Kennedy, I'm a sophomore.
I'm Parker Lipinski, and I'm a sophomore.
I'm Aiden Sang, I'm a senior.
All right. Always a little nervous to kind of have to talk at something like this, but when the season goes as well as ours did, it's pretty easy to be able to stand up and talk about it all. not just from like a actual accomplishment standpoint, but also from like a brotherhood standpoint, a sportsmanship standpoint. We didn't have the best sectionals performance, and I was really sad afterward. And I realized it was because the season was over. It wasn't because of how things went at that day or anything like that, because we worked since June 12th, 21 weeks to get to the sectional meet. I meticulously track everything, when it comes to our mileage and our workouts and stuff like that. We have guys in this group that ran 800 miles over the course of 21 weeks. We have a bunch of young guys that ran 500 and 600 miles. When I first took over the program a couple of years ago, we had all these upperclassmen in the program that really didn't care much about cross country, so they all quit when they got a new coach. And going into the summer, I had about maybe 2 kids that were really excited to run cross country. And then this group of juniors just came together. I think we had 12 freshmen that year. And they pulled our program kind of out of a spot that could have been really, really rough going into a season. If you look at some of the programs that happens to, like Auburn, they only had 5 kids on their team this year. These guys came out and kind of resurrected the program. And so I think they just stand for the best in what we can be as a community. We did win the Sportsmanship Award, mostly for our part in cheering for kids that aren't always up at the front. That got noticed a lot by parents and coaches at other school. And I could say that even just behind closed doors, these guys are the best that we have in the school. Leo here, he's a junior. He missed the entire season last year as a sophomore with some issues related to his foot. He came out and finished, 6th in the conference?
Yep.
Got all conference. He wasn't going to take no for an answer. He was going to come back and he was going to do something. I think a lot of kids might have said, hey, there's no way I can make it back and do great things, taking 6 months off of running. I think that's a quality that we need to see more of as a community. Nick, Dylan, Owen, these guys ran about 800 miles in that time frame. James came and fit in right away as a freshman, 3rd fastest time in school history for a freshman. Brady and Mason, who are 2 of our faster guys in track, they're sprinters. They don't love distance running, but they knew that by coming out and getting the work in, it could help them improve at some other things as far as our track season goes. So, I could say something about, Jack and Parker, 2 of the fastest sophomores in our school history. Aiden, 3-sport athlete, always doing the right thing. So I'm just really proud to be a part of it. My life's forever changed by being able to come to Harlem and be a coach and work with these guys. So thanks for having us.
On behalf of, obviously, the district and the Board of Education, congratulations, but more importantly, the kind words that you have for them and talking about the young men that these guys are is first and foremost the thing we're probably most proud of. So congratulations to you all on a great season. Hopefully I'll see some of you back here next year, recognizing you as 1 year older. And congratulations to you as well, Coach.
Thanks.
So,
Thanks so much.
Let's do a photo real quick. So you're actually just going to turn around. Boards, get up again. They may have to come to the front.
You might need to get the front row. Yeah.
I swear I was in the picture.
I'm gonna try. I think right here.
I think I can get in the back.
I don't know if I can get in the back. I have to stand on my tiptoes.
I'll go a little wide.
There we go. Larry, you gotta sit in the front.
I'll move out of the way. Right here. 1, 2, 3. All right. Sarah and Tracy got over.
There he is. There he is. Mr. Baldwin. Great job.
I figure let you get in.
Huh? I did cross country in high school. Yeah. Wouldn't think it,
I
but I
followed
did.
him through your Facebook.
I want to run more.
Probably most people.
Was it sectional?
All right, so now we get to recognize our girls cross-country team. I know that they're really excited to introduce themselves.
They're very excited.
That's why they let the boys go first. So, now another team that had a great season, obviously, as I previously mentioned, to qualify for sectionals as a team. This is a group that has had a lot of success and has continued to grow. I always look to Mickey as my kind of resident cross-country guru that keeps me in the loop of what's going on in the area of cross-country. And so on numerous occasions she's talked about how impressed she is by both these programs, but this girls program as well. And so I have Coach Kelsey Lucian here. Let him say a few things about the team, and then we're going to, of course, let them introduce themselves.
Well, before I get started, we'll start with introductions. So we'll start here with our senior.
I'm Lauren,
Go
I'm a
that way.
senior. Haley, junior.
Natalie, I'm a senior.
Trinity, sophomore. Ava, sophomore. Claire, sophomore. Kennedy, sophomore.
I think just going off of what Coach Richardson said, the sportsmanship and the dedication this team has had from when we began back in June, because we started over the summer, and they start running and they're right in it, and they've been working hard and dedicated, putting in the miles since about mid-June. They usually take about 2 weeks off from track before they start running with the summer camp, and they've been working really, really, really hard. And I think what really makes this team unique and special over the last few years is really like just how they come together as kind of like a family, not just a team. They work hard and they support each other out there no matter what. And of all of the accomplishments throughout the season, and there's a bunch we can talk about, different meets or PRs and stuff, but I think the biggest accomplishment is the sportsmanship award that the Nick 10 voted on for us, which I think is a really awesome thing to go out and be at these events and being racing and seeing the other coaches and the other teams recognize our team as not only a good team coming in third at the conference meet, but also this team that is out there cheering for other people, helping other people out, building those relationships. I think that's really cool. One of the things that's really special about this team. Also, just their improvement. Some of the PRs that we had over the season weren't like you expect 10, 20, 30-second PRs. In some cases, they were PRing by almost 2 minutes in meets. We had there are two young ladies that aren't here. Madeline Ballou, who's a senior, she's a foreign exchange student from Belgium. She joined the team just kind of on a whim at the freshman orientation, the orientation day. Like somebody said, hey, she's interested in running, and I talked to her a couple days later, and she's like, sure. And she came out and she had a great, amazing season. She couldn't run at the varsity level for the state series because of some IHSA rules, but she was there supporting the team, so she's not here tonight. She couldn't make it. And then Tiana Hastings is on the basketball team, so she has a basketball game tonight, so she couldn't make it. But just Tiana, who's not here, had a PR of like 1:45 at the end of the season at the sectional meet, which is just an insane PR to have that late in the season. So just their dedication, how much they all improved throughout the season. And then one last final thing, I think, and it like really kind of struck me as I was sitting out there, is just how goofy and fun they are to be around. And I think that's like really what makes the team really, really special. After, no matter how like tough a day I had during the day or what's going on in the school day, I could always come out to the team and they would be excited to be there. They'd be excited to run. They'd be talking about all their goofy things they did throughout the day. And it was by far the best way to end a day. And not gonna lie, like I really miss that after the season's over, because it's like, okay, now I'm done. It's like, where's that pick me up? I don't have that anymore with the season being done. So I kind of look forward to that next year and all that. But yeah, definitely excellent group of young ladies.
Well, as I mentioned to the boys, congratulations on behalf of the school district, the board, our community. We're proud of you. We're proud of the sportsmanship, obviously, as well. We look forward to seeing many of you come back next year. So congratulations on a great season. Congratulations, Coach. One, two.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Just to get away from something, Jason. They heard the bills are coming. I heard the bills are coming. Okay.
I really try to encourage them all to stay.
It really just shows the parental like participation
Yes, right.
to show how many are here for them.
We actually do have one more item this evening. So, as I would assume you're aware, November 15th marks School Board Member Day. And so in partnership with the Illinois Association of School Boards, we obviously want to recognize each of you as board members and the commitment, the time, the work that you put in to serve our community and serve the school district. And so what I'm going to do tonight is I've got a quick video to show you. A few people, colleagues of mine and some students that are saying thank you to all of you for everything that you do for our district. I've got a guest somewhere that's going to join me in a second to say a special thank you from him as well. And so I'm going to turn this over to this video. I want to thank Michael for helping put this together.
I would like to thank the school board on behalf of all of us here that drive a school bus for a beautiful set of buses that they provide. It's kind of nice when we pull up with one of the nicest buses.
Thank you to our school board for everything that you guys do.
On behalf of Harlem Middle School and myself, I would like to personally thank the board for all that you've done for us here.
My name is Caitlin Johns, and I just wanted to thank the school board for working with Rock Valley.
Hello board members, I'm Mr. Barr, and I just wanted to say thank you for approving the Aspire training for us teachers.
Anything that you've done around professional development.
Hello, my name is Rena Rush, and I'm a first grade teacher at Olson Park Elementary. I want to thank you for providing us with the opportunity to attend the Letters training.
Renovations, as you can see, our hallway has been done, several restrooms.
Thank you. I appreciate everything that you guys have done. This has been a great blessing to the Harlem community, the Harlem Sports Medicine Program, and Harlem Athletics, as well as the school district.
I'm in the CNA program, and they are providing great programs for not just the CNA program, but a bunch of different courses. So they have a great program, and it's awesome working with them.
Again, thank you so much.
So thank you again.
I'd like to thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Say thank you, thank you, thank you, and we appreciate you and all you have done.
So I know this was just a few things, but we set out and looked at really what you've all accomplished and voted on over the past year. And so picked a handful of people to represent and to thank you specifically for some of the things that you all have allowed for them, and whether it be our staff or teachers or bus drivers or our students. And so I do have one person that jumped at the opportunity to come in and actually say this to you face to face. A guy with a great name, Mr. Jason Lubin, familiar face to all of you, but he wanted to come in as well just to give a personal thank you because he's incredibly grateful for the support of his programming and the things that he does at Harlem High School for us. But just obviously he understands the scope of your work and the decisions that you have to make. So
From adjacent to adjacent.
yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely.
Board, thank you. Dr. Yarbo, thank you. And I just want to say, I've been here 18 years. I've been supplying injury prevention, injury care for all of our athletes over the last 18 years. I've touched mentored over 100 student trainers through the athletic training program. So I've been truly blessed through that. And I still remember Nikki Erb and Shelly, our first meeting here, and they're like, hey, we got an idea. Let's talk about this. And that brought me into the CTE issues and being able to teach these classes. Even though it was over COVID, it was definitely a learning situation for that. So I really enjoyed that as well. But what this building, what the addition has done for Harlem, the community, athletics, education, I've been able to certify CPR, our CNA class already. So we were able to get those kids into the classroom, able to do CPR certification for BLS, basic life support, and that is going to go on for them. So they get that certification, that they get more marketable for the community, as well as getting that job opportunity. My sports medicine class, they've also gotten BLS certified as well, so they get to use that when they go on to PT school, athletic training, and exercise science. Also, with this addition, we were able to get a chapter now for HOSA, so it's Health Occupational Students of America. So we're able to get that chapter where we can touch lives of more students and getting into the healthcare field and getting more promotions and allowing for educational purposes through the state recognition. So now with HOSA, they have a state competition that we can bring our students to, and they get to use their skills that they learn at the school, and we can go into the state as well as we can go into national competitions as well. So it's not just, locally, we can go from the state competitions into national competitions as well. So we're able to start a chapter with all of this and your great support. So I appreciate each and every one of you, and I know all of my students do appreciate everything you guys do. So thank you very much.
So it's, and I've been here 18 years too.
There you go.
So we wanted to take a moment. You don't always get a chance to see firsthand the experiences that you provide by approving different things, trainings or programs or whatever it may be. And so on behalf of our staff, our students, our families, we want to say thank you to all, 6 of you tonight, all 7 of you, that they give up so much time and energy to really provide experiences not only for our staff, but for our students. And the one kid, you might not have connected that, but the student that's participating in Rock Valley programs and articulated credit and stuff there's just so many opportunities and experiences that you all provide through this structure. So thank you to each of you for that. And so if you all would join me in a round of applause and appreciation for our board. So we do actually have, as a token of our appreciation, we went away from the bundt cakes and the cupcakes and all that stuff, and we have a cup for you. Chris also has picked up a special voucher for each of you.
His skills are going to come in handy.
We'll get a bag for that. It's just a token of appreciation for all the work and time that you put in. So thank you, Chris, for helping gather those items, and I apologize if you were looking forward to bundt cakes. Thank you, Jason. Yep, that ends my report. Thank you.
If you really want a bundt cake, I can take that home next time I go to the store.
We have 2 comments from the community. First up, Krista Butler.
I love my job. I am passionate and committed to my job. I make a difference. Good evening, members of the Harlem School Board. My name is Krista Butler, and this is my 11th year at Marquette Elementary. For the first 9 years, I taught 2nd grade, and I'm currently, hopefully not my last year, as a target support specialist, in math. I understood when I took this position due to a grant that it was terminal. I'm here tonight to share my thoughts and feelings on why this position should become a permanent one. First, for those who may not be familiar with my position, I get to service 10 students every 30 minutes by giving them a boost or just-in-time, Tier 1 instruction in math. What this means is, instead of 60 1st through 3rd grade students sitting in their classrooms for that 30 minutes, and most likely being on their computers, they get to come into my classroom for pre-taught grade level lessons using plenty of hands-on learning and all in a smaller group setting. A goal to not only expose each of these students to this classroom's upcoming lessons, but to build their confidence in their math skills. The students I service are selected based on the following criteria: their availability, the iReady data, and their teachers' professional input. My groups are fluid, which means for each new unit, their availability, data, and teachers' professional observations are reviewed to make any necessary changes. In 2022-2023, I was fortunate to see 70+ students a day, totaling 107 first through third grade students throughout that whole school year. Currently, for this year, I am servicing over 60 students a day, and so far have met 74 students. With the TSS position, I'd like to share that I am able to service a larger number of students every 30 minutes compared to those of an interventionist. One of my many hopes is that in providing the students with my boost or just-in-time services, that there will be a reduction in the number of students who will need a math interventionist. Currently at Marquette Elementary, we do not have a full-time math interventionist. So many students who are in need of math help are not having that met, and more will be left behind if my position is terminated. In closing, Ms. Megan Hastings, last year I was honored when you were able to stop by my classroom at the end of the school year. Before leaving, you shared some positive and encouraging comments on what you saw and the level of engagement. Board members, I welcome each of you to come into my classroom and see how the groups are run and see the math magic happen. Thank you.
Thank you.
You don't use it.
Antonio Paul.
Good evening, board members. My name is Antonio Paul. I'm a junior at Harlem High School. I'm an athlete on the varsity team. On October 31st, I started a petition to save our coach's jobs after hearing the rumors and everything. It got over 1,000 signs, and I have all the names right here. And there's comments that people left under it that I printed too. You guys want to read those? Coach Monahan, along with his team of coaches, have been an essential part of our life and our football team's success. Both off and on the field, they work tirelessly to provide the things that we want and need and go above and beyond to ensure that every player has their max opportunity and full potential. Coach Monahan's leadership helped create a positive environment where players feel respected and appreciated. Not only is he a great coach, but he's also a mentor and a friend. My teammates and I don't want to lose these important leaders in our life who made such a significant impact on us. Keeping Coach Monahan and his team coaches would ensure that this vital support system remains intact. Our team is a family, and without them in the future, I don't know what holds for us. It's uncertain. We urge you to reconsider any decisions that remove Coach Monahan and a team of coaches from their position. Let's keep Coach Monahan where he is. I just want to say from the heart that those coaches have changed my life, changed a lot of these guys' life. And they're just great coaches, and what you see on social media is just messed up, and all the rumors and lies going around. And I feel like our football team's not being heard enough. There's just all the rumors on Facebook and everything, and on all the social media. It's bad, and all the lies and everything. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir. Moving on to approval of the bills.
Okay, thank you. The total payables for this period were $1,819,447.68. There were void checks of $1,441.90. There were two payrolls this period in the amount of $7,031,404.25 for total expenditures of $8,850,851.93. Split out by fund, the education fund paid $6,929,889.87. The operations and maintenance fund paid $400,998.38. The transportation fund paid $363,980.89. Capital projects fund paid $254,384.03. And the capital projects, IMRF was $254. Capital projects is $901,598.76. Again, for total expenditures of $8,850,851.93. Were there any unanswered vote questions? Let's see the bills.
Motion to approve the bills.
Motion.
Second. Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Casey? Aye. Mrs. Meeks? Aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Moving on to communications and committee reports. As Ms. Carson's not here, I turn it over to Mr. Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Sterling, and happy Veterans Day to all the veterans out there. Appreciate your service. Thank you, Mr. Bloom, for the nice presentation that you put together for Board Member Appreciation Day. It's an honor to serve the Harlem School District. Thank you to our Parker Center friends. They were terrific. Miss Meeks, beautiful art on the walls. I know you noticed that right away when you walked into the room. The cross-country team, real quick, if somebody were to run 800 miles in 20 weeks, that's 40 miles a week. When I worked in the Harlem School District, I didn't drive 40 miles. That's crazy. That is dedication. And so, great job by our cross-country teams. It takes a lot of dedication. I especially liked the comments that were made by the coaches in regards to the sportsmanship and being recognized for the sportsmanship. And that's so important, and that's what we hope to instill upon all of our young people that participate in our sports teams, but also all of our students that attend the Harlem School District, is we should be stressing the sportsmanship and fair play and treating one another with respect and dignity. I wanted to mention, I know Ms. Erb's going to have the presentation by the Education Committee today, right? The SIP?
Just, we're going to ask for approval for the
Right.
plans.
They really work so hard. Those schools, the SIP teams, work so hard on putting together those improvement plans, and I just wanted to recognize them for all of the work that they did on those SIP plans and the work that they do throughout the year. And if you want to come and see a great dedicated bunch of people, all you have to do is show up right here for the next Education Committee meeting on December 19th, 2023. But it will be at 4:30 p.m., so you will have to either have a late lunch or a late dinner. Thank you, Mr. Sterling.
As always. I'm going to turn it over to Megan Hastings.
All right, quick thank you to the Intro to Education class over at the high school who asked me to speak. That was a super fun experience, and to also see the Paw Prints classroom and what that program is like. It was incredible. It was an awesome group of students. Loves Park for inviting us to be a trunk that turned into a table with the rain, but we got to be a table treat for the trunk or treat at Loves Park Elementary. That was super fun. I second what Mr. Smith said about the sportsmanship. I know in the Hastings household, we strive to be a lot, but we mostly strive to be kind. So hearing that 2 of our teams went out there The miles, yes, the PRs, yes, all of those achievements absolutely are fantastic. But the fact that we were recognized not only by our community but outside communities for our sportsmanship is fantastic. Special shout out to Tiana Hastings. Your involvement in the Harlem community always makes me really proud to be a Hastings. So, lastly, for our community comments, thank you so much for coming and speaking. The fact that a teacher and a student spoke tonight is really special to me. All community comments are welcomed and I appreciate them. However, I say time and time again, I do not spend time in those buildings every single day for 6, 7, 8 hours a day. So hearing your perspectives is really important to me. So thank you. I know it's not easy being on that side of the table, so I appreciate you guys for coming and commenting. That's all I got.
Thank you so much. This is a weird one where I'm in the middle. All right. I want to say thank you to Parker kids and families coming out. I love seeing the littles that are going to be coming through, their enthusiasm. I did like it when we were just waiting for him to come through. I'm like, whoa, those aren't kindergartners. Jason kind of threw us off. The comments from the community, yes, we really do need them. We appreciate your perspective. We appreciate your time and your comments. They aren't unheard. With that, when you have time, we'll take the paperwork that you do have. Okay. Our next regular board meeting will be December 11th, 2023 at 6 p.m. Our next policy committee meeting will be November 15th, 2023 at 4:30 p.m. You guys have folders at your desk for the tri-conference, should have your stuff there. That's going to be a lot of informative stuff for the board going forward. As you can see on our agenda, I'm going to be requesting consensus to add additional district architect of record. As of right now, we've only had one. Other school districts have multiple. I'm just going to ask for you guys' approval to send that to business services so that we can have more options than just one. And with that, I will turn my comments over to Mr. Kurt Thompson.
Sure. Thank you for the board members for all the work that you guys do as well, and especially going in front of me so you have all the things to help me as well. I'd like to say thank you for the Parker Center Pups for coming in and giving the pledge. It is always great. And to all the parents' participation. I always know anytime when I pull in, there's a full parking lot. It really, like, be it here or even at the schools, any event, I just love the amount of parent participation that we have with our students in our school. It's really great. Let's see, what did you guys not hit other than that? One thing is, I don't know if you guys know, 73 teachers got nominated for Golden Apple this year from 6 to 12. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, everyone is absolutely amazing, but besides the work that our students and our parents have put through to nominate them, and I hope they continue that process, it gives them some recognition of all the hard work that they directly do as well. So congratulations to all those that were nominated. Again, to anyone coming in for public comment, students, teachers, it's tough, it's hard, from two very different reasons, but at the same time, getting up, speaking, doing the work to get all that information to show your perspective. And we listen to that. And any questions that you have, always reach out. We're here for those, to see what we can do the best there. Congratulations to our runners that was mentioned as well. And that being said, we do have, as always, a business services meeting coming up as well. Please come. So if you don't know, Josh does a great job of kind of going through those numbers very briefly at these meetings and covering all the topics that we approve. If you really want to know what those numbers mean, have some questions, and where we do a much deeper dive, all honesty, I always kind of joke about coming. There is a lot of good information that are in those business services meetings. So if you would like the opportunity, wink wink, to come and check out the next one. That would be December 6th, right back here. And that is going to be, because it does change a little bit, 5:30 here. So we look forward to seeing everyone there. That concludes my report. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. One little interjection. Thank you to the fellow veterans out there. And that goes to you, Mr. Smith. I was thinking, it's 1,100 miles from here to Fort Hood. I don't know what they call it now, but Fort Hood. So they almost ran to Fort Hood.
Wow.
Oh, wow. And with that, I turn it over to Ms. Evelyn Meeks.
Good evening, everyone. Well, I really don't have too much to say, except I backtrack on everybody else's, what they all had to say. But I really want to thank Mrs. Anderson and the Parker Center students they did an amazing job on the pledge. Also, happy Veterans Day to all the veterans in our district, in the country. We really do appreciate you putting your life to save us. So all I can just say, I greatly appreciate it, your service. Also, I want to say congratulations to the boys cross country and the girls cross country. I always wanted to be a cross country runner when I was in school, but I did track, so I was like a distant runner and a sprinter. But when I would think about doing cross country, I would think about, like you were saying, the distance, and I was like, nah. But thank you for your comments. Everyone that had comments from the community tonight, especially you, young man, for your comments. We really appreciate it. And we, like I have stated before, we don't know anything unless you tell us. So anytime you have any concerns, feel free to call or text or email any one of us. We are here for you. So, and that's the truth. You might not believe it, but it's the truth. And you never know unless you ask. And my husband always told me, only thing a person can say to you is yes or no, but you'll never know unless you ask. So, the next equity meeting. Oh, I want to say my condolences to Thomas. Is it Jolene? To the bus driver, condolences to his family. And the next equity meeting will be December 21st at 4:30 in West 145. So, thank you, everybody.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Henry McNeil.
Going last, there's not much to cover that hasn't already been said, so thank you for everybody that went in front of me. But I do want to echo about the cross-country teams, and I think Mr. Smith hit that, is getting this the award for sportsmanship is something that I think every one of our programs should strive for, because winning and losing, wins and losses, we remember and we forget. How we get there, the journey that we get there, and how we improve ourselves, I think, is with high school sports, is what they're there for. And if we mold ourselves properly, the wins are going to come very, very easily. And I'm also going to echo I'm echoing to everybody, but I'm just putting my own spin on it because it's been said. But what Evelyn said, every day, I'd probably say that the rest of the board members would agree, every day we're learning more about our district. We are 7 people that help to navigate through over 8,000 between teachers, students, administrators. We don't know what we don't know. And I'd like to look at the rest of the team here, and truly we care. Like, I don't think we would put our time in, our names on signs, all that stuff, to come in here to get a seat at a table that we don't care about. So I'm encouraging anybody, our emails are out there, they're readily available. If we need to know something, please let us know. And I can't say that enough, because there's 7 board members, over 8,000 people in the district, and we know that we don't know what's going on, and we'd like to know as much as we can to make this a better place. So on that, I echo for the veterans as well. I couldn't go into the military, and I utmost respect the people that make that choice. And as far as, I'm going to call back to cross country, the only time I run the longest distance I run is trying to get away from whatever's chasing me. So I could do it quickly for about 40 yards, and then it slows down. So I just hope somebody's slower than I am. So thank you for your time, and I'll pass it back off.
Thank you for that. just have to be faster than your friends.
Just don't be the slowest.
With that, Dr. Michelle.
Thank you. I'd like to start out by thanking all the board members for the countless hours that you put in and your dedication to the students, families, and staff of this district. It's greatly appreciated. My first item, if you looked and you're like, I swear I already approved it. Yes, October 10th we did approve this travel. So I just wanted to point that out that when I was looking at it, I'm like, I think we had covered that. So I'm going to move to my next item. As Mr. Smith said, lots of hours go into the school improvement plans. And the way that Mr. Smith and Mrs. Carlson have worked with Dr. Yarbrough and myself to set up our education committee meetings, we have a whole slide dedicated to show how are we working on those plans. And that's part of each one of those presentations. So not only is this a plan that we're asking for approval, but we also are providing those updates every other month to show the board and the community what we're doing to work towards each of those goals. So those were shared at the Ed Committee, and then tonight I'm asking for board approval, please.
Josh Rand.
All right. I'd like to echo Dr. Erb's thank you and say thank you to the board for everything that you do for this community. As my thank you, I'm going to try and rush through these 17 items that I brought you tonight. So my first item is a recommendation to approve resolution declaring surplus property at the Harlem Administration Center. There are 3 things on there this time. So, any questions on that? Okay. I have one facility request tonight, so I have a recommendation to approve that facility request, and that is for the Dvorak Wrestling Tournament coming up next month at the high school. So for items 3, 4, and 5, I just want to make a clarification on the agenda. They say FY23, it should be 2020. It's tax year 2023, just as a clarification. So those 3 are the recommendation of the tax levy that we presented the tentative tax levy last month. So I haven't changed any dollar amounts here from that conversation. So upon board approval tonight, I will file that over the next month with the county. And that'll go into next year's property taxes. So just a reminder that we, on the capped amount, levied 4.99. Now the bond amount does go down a little bit, so that makes it closer to 4.55.
Look forward to getting that statement out for the tax abatement.
Next item, yep. And so there's also a note in the school code about the budget hearing and the tax levy hearing about announcing the cash balance. We don't have a tax levy hearing. I'm going to just say the amount just to check the box. So the cash balance on June 30th, 2023 was $58,384.80. Are there any other questions with the tax levy process? Okay. So to Mike's point, my next item is a recommendation to approve the property tax relief grant application with ISB. This is where the state has $49.3 million, and they rank districts by a bunch of different factors. We are in a partial position of the last slot. So we're getting about $1.1 million right now, but anyone that doesn't apply ahead of us, we would get that. So we won't know probably till February, but everyone cross their fingers that the people on the list ahead of us choose not to partake. So this is a one button click in ISB once the board approves it for me, so I can do that tomorrow and we'll be submitted on that. So, is there any questions on the property tax relief grant?
Just keep clicking.
Just click,
yeah. Click it unless you convince others to not click.
What's the one that's looking for over $6 million? What district is DeKalb.
Yeah, DeKalb.
And DeKalb got 6 last year too. So, we just take their finger off the button. Yes. Right. Are we good on that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, my next item is a recommendation to approve school maintenance project grant opportunities. So what I'm recommending here is to utilize our chiller projects for these that we're recommending later on. This is a $50,000 matching grant with ISB. So we've used this for our auditorium refresh, the current tuck pointing work that's happening at the high school, and then we also have one outstanding from last year for repair of the catwalk, so that we can get that ready for LED lights in that auditorium in the future. So, if if the board's good with that, approves that, then we will submit that for, from what I've seen, it looks like they just pretty much approved that, but.
And this is for all three, there was discussion, right, it was 2 for sure with the potential of 3, did you factor
Yeah,
that?
you know, I was thinking about that, I think we can just either put Loves Park and Olson, or just Loves Park, because if we only have to spend 100,000, these projects are gonna be well over that, so. We'll just put both down, then I'll put Loves Park and Olson just to cover our bases.
I think,
That
yeah.
should be plenty.
Which one is the World War II one?
Loves
Loves
Park.
Park, right?
That's where I was gonna start,
Yeah.
but I might as well put Olson Park on.
World War II parts.
No, they don't even know the model.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They want us to send it to them.
It
for
rubbed off.
Historical.
Like I said, Midway Village is gonna need it.
Yeah. Any questions on school maintenance project grant? Okay. 12B8 is a recommendation to approve an award of bid to purchase 15 Bluebird school buses for a cost of $2,083,720 with Central States Bus Sales. And we talked about this quite a bit at Business Services. We looked at the bus replacement cycle. Last year, we bought gas. This year, we're recommending buy diesel. The costs were very close on that. We still don't have all our buses from last year, which is why we're doing this months and months earlier. So the market is still pretty choppy for school buses, but as bus driver said, we do have very nice school buses here, so.
And with these 15, how much more room do we have for buses with noses to fit? Did you have that number last meeting?
You know, Don said that we can do at least one more year. We'd have to figure out how to wedge them in. So
Okay.
part of the conversation too was we park the buses in double end to end into the bus garage, and some of that distance of the buses is very, very close. So we have to watch that very closely because the gas ones we bought last year were a few inches too long. So we talked about options for that and what that looks like in the future. Any questions on school bus bid? Okay. Next is a recommendation to approve an independent contractor agreement with Janice Bubdick to provide tutoring services for students who attend Concordia Lutheran School for the FY24 school year for a total of $7,790 paid with ESEA Title I funds.
We had 2 of those, the next one is the same. Do we have any say in who is hired for those positions since we're paying for them?
We hire.
We hire them?
Because they have to have proper licensure, so we have to make sure that they have the proper licensure, and we are the ones that hire, and then we are the ones that end up using the private parochial's funds to pay for that individual to do the tutoring.
Good, thank you.
Yep.
Are there any other questions on that one? 12B10 is a recommendation to approve an independent contractor agreement with Sue Blevins to provide tutoring services for students who attend Rockford Lutheran Academy for the FY24 school year for a total cost of $9,720, also paid with ESEA Title I funds. Any questions on that? Okay. Next is a recommendation to approve the resolution authorizing the transfer of interest from the debt service fund to the capital projects fund in the amount of $250,000. This is related to the CTE funding that we had talked about when we approved that project. Any
Excuse
questions
me,
on that?
Josh, I think you need to go back to the middle school.
I missed the middle school one? Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
That was 12B12. I'll go back to 12B11, sorry. 12B11 is a recommendation to approve an agreement with the Association for Middle Level Education to help with schedule redesign and virtual coaching sessions for 6th grade transition at a cost of $6,500 paid with local funds.
This says virtual coaching sessions. I believe at the meeting, the call-out was that they would visit here.
They're coming for the visit, but if any follow-up
Oh, okay.
coaching would be
I'm
the
just
virtual
confirming
part,
that,
yes.
because I know there was a lot that were virtual. I just wanted to make sure that we weren't backtracking.
And it's that's up to 10 different sessions that they might need support, so it won't go beyond that amount.
So the contract is per session?
So there's the 5,000 for them coming in, observing what's occurring, providing us a recommendation as far as what the day, the schedule and that should look like, and then up to 10 different coaching sessions as we're working through the transition, working with AMLE as far as, since they do this across the country, they have a lot of knowledge that they can help support us as we're trying to make this transition.
Yeah, we have a lot of knowledge in this district too, so I don't want to keep going down the road just because we say we're going to go down the road, but if that road doesn't meet our needs, I'd hate to be stuck with continuing to pay for something that we see that we can do ourselves.
Is there something that's continuing for this one?
No, this,
Because this is just to help with the transition
Right, so-
services.
right, so then it's that's why there's the up to. If they don't need 10 additional sessions
Okay.
to help, then we don't use 10.
I got your point now, sorry.
Good? Good. All right. So 12B12, again, was a recommendation to approve resolution authorizing the transfer of interest from the debt service fund to the capital projects fund in the amount of $250,000. So this is interest that is accrued in debt service being transferred to capital projects. Are there any questions on that? Okay. 12B13 is the recommendation to approve resolution abating the working cash fund in the amount of $282,500. This makes up $250,000 of transfer from working cash and $32,500 that accrued in interest while those bond funds were sitting there before we transferred them, and was also part of the CTE funding recommendation. Any questions on that? Okay. Next is a recommendation to approve an agreement with Tyler Technologies for cash manager application for a cost of $9,900 paid with district funds. So $5,000 of this is purchasing the module, $4,000 is implementing, and then going forward, it's only a $900 cost. We talked in business services that cash rec is happening in a spreadsheet right now, and this is a much more efficient way to streamline this in the system. So, any questions on that one? Okay. Next is a recommendation to approve the memorandums, plural, of understanding with DLA Architects to provide architectural services for the design, working drawings for the 2024 summer building projects. That covers 3 chiller projects, although we're not sure if we'll be able to do 2 or 3. So what's in that MOU is Loves Park, Windsor, and Olson Park. Loves Park being the oldest and Windsor being the one that we had the problem with this summer. The design and bid of the girls softball field at the high school, and what was the one?
Parking lot.
Parking lot, yeah, auxiliary parking lot at Marquette. I'd like to talk to you about that one. Sure. Is there a way that, I think we could send that out for, without, I don't believe that we need to have architects do core samples and all that stuff. Can we send that out for bid based off of square footage and save the district some money as far as the architectural work? Because if you looked into, I did a little research on paving and that kind of stuff, and that's their job to tell you what aggregate they need to put down, what mix that they need to put on there, and I think we set it out based off of, because what was the cost on having DLA do that? Almost $19,000. I think we could save ourselves $19,000 and pay for a quarter of our parking lot if we just send it out based off of square footage and location. Worst case scenario, we bring them back in, but it costs us nothing to measure a parking lot and send it out for bid.
It's money that we could be spending to make that pretty rough parking lot a little bit more useful as well, potentially.
Sure.
Anyone from Marquette love that back parking lot?
Gotta go.
So I'm just thinking as a cost-saving measure, we can try to send it out for bid based off of square footage and see what the recommendations from the professionals
So
bring in.
you got 2 options here. You'd have to pull it, or word it when, on vote.
Pardon?
Because it's been bundled, we'll either have to pull it or we have to word it that way on vote. So you would do the certain projects omitting the one project just because of the way it is.
So we'd have to pull it and vote on it again next session as its own independent?
No, what I'm saying.
We can rephrase it to exclude the parking lot.
Kind of similar to what we did with the budget and the kitchen.
Yeah.
Just pulling it
Phrasing.
out.
Okay.
And still letting the chillers and stuff go.
Yeah, I have no problem with that. I'm just trying to save some money.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
And then, is there any issues with these for timing, right? So if any of these things get held up, or is that potentially impacting beginning of?
Regarding the pavement?
No.
And just in general.
The
or any-
pavement will be fine. The
Okay.
chillers have a long lead time. Chillers, So I lead agree. time We is need what- parts for that, but yeah, paving. The pavement we've got time on, so.
And
Why
to, the only thing I would say is to Mike's point, if we're doing a potentially additional architects of record, is there any concern for visiting these now versus revisiting? What is that? I'm going definitely to kind of an unknown area, but
I think we talked about business services. No, We've gotta yeah. get that.
we've got to get these things set. in
We've
time.
got to get the chiller.
Yeah.
We got to get stuff ordered for that
We gotta get
stuff.
the chillers
I'm just saying,
rolling.
going forward,
Going forward.
And then that's what
yeah.
I'm looking for, right? I think we're okay with the consensus that this is the time that we move forward what we have, but if there's opportunity to have additional resources to review, we should get those on
100%.
board.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
In the future.
So let me take that paving piece and we'll talk that through and figure out if that is, if we think that's feasible or bring more conversation in December.
but
And
that's one that can always come back. It's,
sure, yeah, there, trust me,
Yeah.
somebody will want to pave that next year. I promise you.
Or for the
I
for
promise
extra
you.
20 grand, we can maybe redesign it, or look to see options that are there.
Sure. Okay.
okay.
Good. Any other questions on that?
We're pulling at that part, yes.
Thank you. So 12B16 is a recommendation to approve an agreement with Hoot Reading for an at-home literacy interventionist program at a cost of $3,742, paid with ESSER 3 homeless funds. And then there's a memo explaining that with Sherry Tucker that's attached. Is there any questions on that one? Okay. My last item is a recommendation to appoint attorney Amy Silvestri as district property tax appeal attorney. After many years with the district, Tim Miller is taking a position somewhere else, and so it is tax appeal season. So as soon as the board approves this, we will have Amy start on the appeals that have come in. So, any questions on that one?
She was local.
She's
Plus.
local, yes.
She's local and she took a reduced rate for the school district.
Yeah, I just want to highlight that. It's good news.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. Any other questions? And that is my report.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Sutherland?
Good evening. I have the recommendation to approve the personnel agenda tonight. There is no addendum. We have 21 employments this evening, 8 transfers, 13 resignations, 3 Federation Bank requests, and 2 requests for new personnel. Why are we asking for 2 new personnel? Well, because we'd like to expand the ALP, Advanced Learner Program, down to 3rd grade, and the Fine Arts Program down to 3rd grade, starting next year. So these positions would be posted then for next year in that expansion. And that's it for me this evening. Thank you.
The positions for the student mentor and the full-time building substitute, were those terminal positions? It doesn't say terminal positions in the,
Oh, for the, you mean in the thing? Okay, they are. They're all
okay, but it
terminal.
didn't say that. in-
Yep, I'll make sure that's noted. Chris, could you make that notation? Thank you. Thank you, Larry.
Thank you. Dr.
No,
Terrell-Yarber?
thank you. Before I read my 1-4 request, I do want to echo to what everyone else has said. Thank you, board members, for all that you do. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that a lot of individuals don't get to see, the late night phone calls, the, things like that, and the problem solving, that happens. And so really do appreciate you all. So thank you for that. Also the committee meetings as well that do not get televised, that you all are part of and do a really good job with as well. So thank you. Also to the audience that you stuck with us this long, so thank you as well. And online too. And young man, would you like to bring up, the paperwork now? So I want to give you an opportunity to hand the board that. So we can
These are the comments from the petition, and these are just names, like 1,000 signatures.
Thank you. Because I want to say for you to not only have the courage, but the leadership to do what you did. It was really appreciated, okay? Thank you. All right, and so my one FOIA request that I have here. Freedom of Information Act submitted on October 31st, 2023 from William Ingalls of WREX regarding personnel matters in the district response denying said request dated November 7th, 2023. The FOIA request was narrowed on November 8th, 2023, and the district responded on November 9th of 2023. This FOIA is still in progress. So that is my report.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Mission statement.
That's why I do it at the beginning, Mr. Smith, but I get it. I get it.
You need a little button like this.
Mrs. Smith.
We'll get you a bell. No, we won't.
You're back. I need a motion and a second to approve the personnel agenda and no addendum.
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Hastings?
Aye.
Mrs. Meeks? Aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Now, we had approved the travel request, so
We did it in October. I went back and looked, I was looking and I'm
I
like,
don't
I
know if we
swear.
don't have to do that again. Maybe I guess we could, but we already beating a dead horse. Motion and a second to approve facility requests.
Motion.
Second.
Mrs. Hastings?
Aye.
Mrs. Meeks? Aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Nope, I'm not talking, I'm not saying it again.
This one is just consensus on moving the architect of record back to business services.
Motion.
Consensus to add.
Add an additional.
Second.
Well, is the phrasing correct then? Or
Yeah,
is
it
this
just
the,
needs consensus.
and this is to discuss it in business services or just do add?
Correct.
Okay.
Let's
Just confirm.
add one in business services. They're gonna bring you the criteria. You guys are gonna go all set that stuff up and bring it back to us later.
So it'll be through Business Services Committee.
Yep. Larry?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes?
Who's the person?
Oh, no, it's just consensus.
Is it consensus? Do we, motion second? Go.
I motion
Okay.
seconded consensus.
We can do a motion in a second, but we're just consensus, because we're not really, we're just taking it back to our business services.
Okay, this is an action item, though.
All right,
We
that's
can't
fine.
move it to consensus.
I'll change my wording next time. Motion and a second, so you got the motion and a second?
Sure.
There you
Mrs. Meeks?
True.
Just speak for you.
Mr. Sterling?
go. All right.
Mr.
Oh, yeah,
Thompson?
Howard Kirk could just motion and second
Mr.
himself.
Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Hastings?
Aye.
Yep, we're good, thank you. You gotta just pardon me on this one. Can I get a motion and a second to approve school improvement plans for Parker Center, Loves Park Elementary, Chesney Elementary, Maple Elementary, Marquette Elementary, Olson Park Elementary, Ralston Elementary, Rockcut Elementary, Windsor
Motion.
Elementary, Harlem Middle School Elementary.
Second.
First, Hastings second.
Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Hastings?
Aye.
Mrs. Meeks? Aye.
Motion and a second to approve resolution declaring surplus property.
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Hastings?
Aye.
Mrs. Meeks? Aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye. Motion and a second to approve certificate for the FY 2023 tax levy.
Motion.
Second.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Hastings?
Aye.
Mrs. Meeks? Aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
14, motion and a second to approve FY 2023 tax levy resolution.
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Hastings?
Aye.
Mrs. Meeks? Aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
14F, motion and a second to approve FY 2023 tax levy for certain purposes.
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Hastings?
Aye.
Mrs. Meeks? Aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
14G, motion and a second to approve property tax relief grant application.
Motion.
Second.
Mrs. Hastings?
Aye.
Mrs. Meeks? Aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Can I get a motion and a second to approve school maintenance program grant opportunity?
Motion.
Second.
Mrs. Meeks? Aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Hastings?
Aye.
14I, can I get a motion to approve award of bid to purchase 15 Bluebird school buses for a cost of $2,083,720.
$83,720. Motion.
It's been
Mr. Sterling?
Who's the second? Who's the second?
Mr. Sterling?
They all blended together.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Hazen?
Aye.
Thank
Mrs.
you.
Meeks? Aye.
Can I get a motion and a second to approve an independent contractor agreement with Janice Bubnak to provide tutoring services for students who attend Concordia Lutheran School for the FY 2024 school year for a total of $7,790 paid with ESSA Title I funds?
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Hazen?
Aye.
Mrs. Meeks? Aye. Mr. Sterling?
All right. 14K, can I get a motion and a second to approve the independent contractor agreement with Sue Blevins to provide tutoring services for students who attend Rockford Lutheran Academy for FY 2024 school year for a total of $9,720 paid with Title I funds?
Motion.
Second.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Hazen?
Aye.
Mrs. Meeks? Aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Can I get a motion and a second to approve agreement with the Association for Middle Level Education to middle level education to help with schedule redesign and virtual coaching sessions for sixth grade transition at a cost of $6,500 paid with local funds? A motion?
Second.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Hazen?
Aye.
Mrs. Meeks? Aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
A motion and a second to approve interest/debt services resolution, transfer the amount of $250,000 from the debt service fund to the capital project fund.
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Hazen?
Aye.
Mrs. Meeks? Aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Can I get a motion and a second to approve the resolution abating the working cash fund in the amount of $282,500?
Motion.
Second.
Mrs. Hastings?
Aye.
Mrs. Meeks? Aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
14-0, can I get a motion and a second to approve an agreement with Tyler Technologies for cash manager application for a cost of $9,900 paid with district funds?
Motion.
Second.
Mrs. Meeks? Aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Hastings?
Aye.
Can I get a motion and a second to approve the memorandums of agreement with DLA Architects to provide architectural services for the design and working drawings for the 2024 summer building projects omitting the Marquette parking lot?
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Hastings?
Aye.
Mrs. Meeks? Aye.
A motion and a second to approve the agreement with Hoot Reading for at-home literacy interventionist program at a cost of $3,742 paid with ESSER 3 homeless funds.
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Hastings?
Aye.
Mrs. Meeks? Aye. Mr. Sterling?
All right. You get a motion and a second to approve the attorney Amy Silvestri at District Property Tax Appeal Attorney.
Motion.
Second.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Hastings?
Aye.
Mrs. Meeks? Aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Any further announcements and discussion? All right. Can I get a motion and a second to go into executive session to discuss employment of personnel, 5 ILCS 120-2C1, pending litigation, 5 ILCS 120-2C11, student discipline, 5 ILCS 120-2C9, and security procedures, 5 ILCS 120-2C8.
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Smith?
No.
Mrs.
Aye.
Mrs. Hastings? Mrs. Meeks? Aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. McKnight?
Absolutely.
Ayes have it. All right, we're gonna be going into closed session. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.